A gloomy black-haired boy is standing in the middle of a ruined world. He hears an unknown person telling him he can quit and leave everything behind if he wants to. Time passes, and the black-haired boy is traveling through the mountains until he reaches a tall, ruined castle. When he sees people rebuilding it, he remembers he was the one who destroyed it. He enters the throne room where he sees the demon Queen Echidna and her 4 elite generals. Approaching them in disguise, the boy suddenly reveals himself to be a former hero called Leo, who now wants to join the demon army. Even though he beat the very same Echidna he's in front of right now, he wants to join her now. Echidna gets angry and starts blasting him with flames, but he doesn't give up. 1 year ago, Echidna's demon army invaded the human world. Leo was ordered by the king to take down the army, since he is incredibly strong and skilled at both physical combat and magic. In the end, he beat Echidna and destroyed her whole army all by himself. In the present, Leo is talking to Echidna's generals without her knowledge. Among them is a red-haired dragon man called Edward. He joined Echidna because he wants to fight strong opponents and likes Leo because he is incredibly strong. There is also a cheerful beast girl called Lily. She is in love with Leo since in her culture being defeated by the opposite gender in battle means they're bound by fate. The final two are a silver-haired half-demon assassin called Merns and a powerful succubus sorceress called Shutina. In the past, Leo arrogantly beat them all, including Echidna. Afterwards, he returned to the city of Renales, but the citizens were angry and afraid of him. They thought he was going to become the new demon lord since he is so powerful. One day, the king ordered Leo to leave the country since the people hate him. That is when Leo started wandering around the land aimlessly until he heard the demon army was recruiting new soldiers. He decided to turn against the humans and help the demons destroy humanity. Hearing this, the 4 generals decide to let him into the army. However, Shutina tells him he has to conceal his identity, so Echidna doesn't find out who he is. Leo remembers that he saw Echidna do her best to spare innocent people in the past, while she was invading the human world. He is curious as to why she cares about the humans so much. One morning, Leo wakes Shutina up. When Leo defeated the demon army, most of the demons were wounded and returned to the demon world, while the 4 generals stayed behind. Shutina is the most knowledgeable and competent among the 4, which is why she's overworked. One of her jobs is replenishing the 4 mana reactors in the castle. Since Shutina created them, only she is able to refill them. However, since Leo is a master of magic, he can mimic Shutina's magic wavelength and replenish the reactors instead of her. Leo disguises himself with a black suit of armor and heads out to do the job. Exiting Shutina's room, he comes across a servant girl. When he returns from charging the reactors, he decides to take a break and watch Shutina work. After more than an hour of rest, Shutina gets angry at him for slacking off, telling him he won't be of use to their army. She summons her staff and prepares to attack him with a lightning bolt when someone knocks on the door. Leo disguises himself, deciding his false name will be Onyx, and lets the servant girl he met before called Dianette inside. It turns out Leo filled a talisman with Shutina's magic wavelength and gave it to Dianette, enabling her to replenish Shutina's mana reactors. He told Dianette to find 3 more people to use the talisman in turn and refill the reactors. Within the next 3 days, he plans to make enough talismans for 4 people to use at once. While Shutina was working and Leo was resting, he was observing her and made a plan for her to give some of her tasks to her subordinates. Shutina apologizes for misjudging him the whole time and thanks him for his efforts, where Leo expects her to kiss him as a reward if she kicks him out. That night, Shutina invites Leo to her room. She tells him his next assignment will be making sure the castle's food and equipment comes in safely from Largo, the land of the dragon folk. She wants Leo to keep an eye on Lily and make sure she is doing her job properly. Sometime later, Leo finds himself on a tropical island in the land of Largo together with Lily. She is leading her men inefficiently and causing a ruckus while transporting the cargo. The island is connected with Echidna's castle through a portal, and Leo thinks transporting all the supplies could take less time if it was handled properly. He doesn't think Lily is doing her job well, but the workers don't listen to him. Lily's careless behavior has also caused trouble for the villagers who are giving them the supplies. Thinking Lily is immature, Leo comes up with an idea. He summons a poisonous snake, makes it bite him, and calls Lily into his tent. When Lily arrives and sees him lying in bed, she starts panicking. She decides to go to the mountains and find some medicinal herbs, which is exactly what Leo wanted her to do. He cures himself from the poison and sends a magic eye to watch Lily. In the mountains, Leo prepared a variety of challenges for Lily to teach her how to manage her people and work as a team. Lily turns into a huge silver wolf. For the first challenge, Leo put a gigantic boulder in her path, which he enchanted to be unbreakable. Leo expected her to call a magic user to remove the spell, but she manages to break it with brute force, surprising Leo. When Lily finds herself in front of a deep canyon Leo created, he approaches her disguised as a man called Godheart. He reminds her she should call for a friend when she can't solve a problem and manages to convince her to return to the village and find someone. However, instead of bringing someone with her, she just asks for advice. Finding out she can swim around the crevasse, she manages to climb to the other side. More challenges followed, but Lily easily passes them all to Leo's disbelief. Falling asleep, the next morning, Leo wakes up with Lily having fed him the medicinal herbs. Lily shows him she made a plan for transporting the goods efficiently. She says a man called Godheart taught her it's easier that way. Leo realizes he should have just told her directly how to work as a team and praises her for coming up with a good idea. After the work is done and they return, Shutina is satisfied. She tells Leo that Echidna is calling for his false identity of the Black Knight Onyx, and he is concerned she found out who he really was. The next morning, Leo disguises himself as Onyx and knocks on Echidna's door. It turns out Echidna just invited him for dinner as a reward for his efforts, not realizing his true identity. While they're eating, Echidna drinks a lot and gets relaxed. She asks Leo to take off his helmet, and when he says he can't, she takes it off herself. Before she sees his face, Leo managed to change it with magic a little bit and make his hair longer. Echidna looks at him closely, but doesn't notice he is really Leo. Leo starts coming up with ideas to get away from Echidna. He decides to get her so drunk she passes out, but she turns out to be incredibly tolerant to alcohol. Echidna says she is thankful for his help and that she welcomes skillful humans into her army. Leo tells her he heard the hero called Leo is interested in joining her, but as soon as he mentions him, Echidna flies into a rage, saying she hates him and would never hire him. She reveals she wants the Philosopher's Stone and that Leo prevented her from stealing it. The Philosopher's Stone is a treasure held in the holy city of Renales. Everyone thinks it can do anything, but Leo has used it before and knows it's not all-powerful. Echidna reveals she doesn't actually want to conquer humanity, she just wants the Philosopher's Stone. She says she would even be prepared to work with humans, but doesn't believe that humans and demons can live in peace together. Leo asks her why she wants the stone, and Echidna takes him outside. She tells him the human world is beautiful, and that the demon world is just a polluted wasteland where demons fight each other all the time. She is sick of the demon world and wants to make it peaceful and beautiful. In order to achieve that, she wants to use the Philosopher's Stone. Leo is surprised her ambition is so noble and she is so kind. Echidna says the humans also have families and friends like demons and doesn't want to kill them if she doesn't have to. She doesn't actually hate Leo, because he exists to protect humanity against invaders, so he wasn't wrong for stopping her plans before. Leo thinks Echidna only became an evil conqueror because she loves her people. He realizes he wants to support her and doesn't want to lie to her, so he decides to tell who he really is. Suddenly, Shutina and Lily interrupt him. They report that Merns decided to go on a journey and Edvard left to take his life for not properly training his troops. Everyone is surprised and Leo decides to find Merns while Echidna looks for Edvard. Finding Merns at a lake, Leo sits with him. They sit together in silence for a while until Merns opens up. He says he is concerned about having to conduct interviews for new members of the army in 3 days. Because he is bad at talking to people, he wants Leo to teach him how to hold conversations and be a good conversationalist. Leo reluctantly agrees. When Leo meets Echidna at the castle, Echidna says they found Edvard at the training grounds. He was trying to take his life but couldn't do it since no regular blades can pierce his body. Right now, his daughter, a red-haired girl called Julieta, is watching him. The next day at the castle, Merns and Leo are helping out as waiters. Leo found them the jobs in order to help Merns learn how to communicate better. Leo remembers he used to be bad at talking to people too. Merns isn't convinced this will help him, but Leo tells him it will make him learn empathy. Since Merns is an assassin, he was taught not to empathize with people, but Leo gives him advice, telling him to listen to people when he's talking with them. When he tries serving a group of mercenaries, they tease and make fun of him. Merns does his best to try to understand their wishes and serve them, but they keep insulting him. Suddenly, he snaps and beats up most of them. The rest of them apologize to him. While they're returning to the castle, Leo praises Merns for trying his best and Merns is happy. Leo realizes Merns never had an opportunity to practice his communication skills before. He invites him to his room and tells him to question him, saying he'll answer anything he asks. Surprising him, Merns asks him why he joined the demon army. He realized he lied when he told them before he wanted to destroy humanity. Since she tried thinking from his perspective, Merns realizes Leo is powerful enough to destroy the world on his own and doesn't need the demons. We find out Merns was sold into slavery by his parents for being a half-human, half-demon child. After being a slave for a while, he was sold to the Assassin's Guild, where they expected him to die at his first mission. Instead, he survived and attained success as an assassin, hating the human race all the while. Merns doesn't understand why Leo doesn't hate the humans who betrayed him. In order to explain, Leo tells him about his past. Leo used to live in modern Tokyo in a time before magic was used. One day, a hole appeared in the middle of the city and demons started invading. They were sick of the demon world and came to the human world. In order to beat the demons, humans developed 12 living weapons to protect humanity, called the Demon Heart series. Among them, only Leo is still alive, since he was made to be extremely durable and long-lived. Leo only knew how to live as the hero, with orders to protect humanity implanted into him. Leo doesn't even know how old he is because he stopped counting 1,000. He has met many people and is sticking with Echidna and the others because he thinks they are good people he wants to work for. He wants them to find happiness and promises he will find the Philosopher's Stone for them. Hey, thank you for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It takes only a second, but it means everything to us. Have a great day and see you in the next video.